All righty.
There we go.
So I've got a bunch of people rolling in here, which is very cool. So officially, hello and welcome to the display case, episode 3, the return of episode 2. For those of you who missed out last time, we had a bit of a technical difficulty, and not all of the audio was picked up in the way that it was supposed to be. So the recording that we posted on YouTube completely missed our special guest. So we decided, hey, let's try this again and actually test things ahead of time to make sure they're working. And we did. So this is going to be an exciting episode, and because it's actually going to work, which is great. So I am Chris, and my co-host is Science.
I am Science. Yeah, that's me. Sorry, I'm up.
His audio isn't working.
Oh no, your audio's not working.
Wait. My audio.
Why is this happening?
Wait, is my audio really not working?
Science, we see your corgi moving.
Oh no,
There's no audio coming out.
All I'm seeing is visual woofs.
Oh no.
All right, well, we don't need him. Our special guest today, again, is the one and only Kittokatsu. Welcome.
Hooray! I came back.
You did. Thank you for joining us again. Yeah. This is actually, it's what, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. for you right now? 10? Okay, yeah. So this is the middle of the workday for you. So I know you carved out some time to be here with us again. So we definitely appreciate you doing that. At some point, Science may speak.
I'm trying. Can you not hear me?
Just the corgi mouth.
Oh no.
We literally spent the past hour testing this, and everything's working. And now nothing. Oh goodness.
That's so funny.
All right, so we actually have someone in the chat that's asking what the display case is. This is actually a once a month, I don't know, I guess this kind of show that you do here on the Discord to talk about kind of whatever's going on in the hobby. We'll typically have either a main topic or a special guest for each show. Like we've done one talking about One Fest, we've done one talking about tariffs stuff, and then for our second/third episode, we have our special guest. The reason that we have Kat here as our first, and then also I guess had to be second guest, is that she's kind of a community stay around here. His community was kind of built off of the things that she and the rest of her team started back in 2017. So we literally would not be here today without her and a few other kind of critical people back then. So yeah, community anchor is a great way to put it, Pitta. So I guess what we really want to do is kind of redo what we did last time, but better, because we got the kinks worked out this time. And you got a new profile that actually matches you. It's kind of spot on. Last time was very stylized, cute, but this is just you in VTuber form, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, like I mean, every other time I've done like models and stuff like that, it's always been like either an OC, or it would be like a stylized, like far enough separated from me. But yeah, up during last month's one, I was like, no, actually, I want to be me now.
No, it's great. I love it because like I've met you in real life. It's cool seeing you now on my screen in this form. So that's pretty great. I guess let's just kind of pick up from the beginning. How did you get into this hobby of collecting anime figures, these statues?
Also no.
So let me think. So I was into like anime, all of that. Got into cosplay. One of my friends through cosplay was into figures and would start showing me things that he was into. And then
Test.
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Then it was the Mega House Zero, which was the first one that I got.
Test.
Then I was like, oh, I need that one. And
Test.
it was all downhill from there. Because I'm very
Your wall.
responsible for shiny things.
Yeah, I think that is something that everyone in this community shares. We like getting that new thing, right? So you said you started off down this nerdy path with some cosplay. What was the first character you cosplayed as?
We don't talk about that.
Okay.
But the first character I ever cosplayed was Shih Tzu, from Yes.
Okay.
Oh no.
That's the first one that I'm willing to admit that I've done in a public forum. Because my first cosplay would have been when I was 16,
So weird.
17.
Okay.
And it was not very good. And I mean, I loved it at the time. I was very proud of it at the time. But yeah, 16, 17-year-old me was an idiot.
Hey, you're a teenager. You're allowed to be a dub. We all were. Y'all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's it.
That's great. So you told us about how you started, your first figure. How long was it between when? Oh no. So I guess the recording is still going according to science, but we just launched this stream.
Yeah, so I'll get back in a second.
It's vamp a little bit. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. It wouldn't be the display case if we didn't have some problems. Last time, we lost one person's audio completely. This time, we're not getting a different person's audio. That's fun. Man, episode 4, the return of episode 3 is going to be awesome. We'll do that with you next month. We're gonna figure this out eventually, guys. You guys are here for our beta testing. The fun part.
How about now? Okay. Stupid Discord. All right. Even a second. It's all been recording this whole time, so don't worry about that. It's just we lost the videos. But there we go.
Hey, look at that. So welcome to the display case, Science. We're glad you're here.
What a mess. Discord does say stupid things.
You're our favorite corgi sitting on a scientist's head.
I am. It's what I do.
Nice. So yeah, kind of back to what we were talking about. So you started collecting figures, like most of us did. You picked a character, you picked a show, and you just started buying some stuff from it. When did you actually start getting involved in the community side of things?
So I reckon it would have been 6 months later that I made an account on My Figure Collection,
Okay.
as directed by said friend that showed me figures in the first place. He's just like, oh, it's a really good way to start like managing what you own and when things are coming out and stuff like that. Like, okay, cool. Then I'd say probably 6 months later, I was a mod.
Wow, that's a quick turnaround.
Um,
You made your mark pretty quick, I guess, huh?
yeah, I mean, I got Monto's attention for having an attitude. So she shut me down, and then
Hold on. That's kind of what I did here. And that got your attention. How this works?
All the troublemakers end up joining the staff. Exactly. The video
Strict did for a second. And I don't know what happened there. But is it?
Nobody's moving on my end.
Oh, it's moving locally for me.
Science, you have fucked this up. Something serious.
this seems like a disc.
We practiced.
Let's try that again.
This is the worst. Let's just cancel the show forever.
The whole audio.
Maybe I'll delete the server and we can just start again. Wherever we go, just give it 6 months and you'll be in charge again. So that's what I've learned.
I can't hear a thing now.
For sake, you did it. You joined with your hackerman skills.
Oh boy.
Failed to start camera, having issues with video calls. Try again. That's on the science screen over there. What in the world? Science has unstable internet. Bullies become cops. Yeah, that's sort of.
Well, I mean,
Mystery.
yeah, you're here, aren't you?
That's true. But no, because Bronco was super nice, and then we brought him in as a mod, and then he started cracking skulls.
Not at all. I could see what he was. I could see what he was hiding.
Yes, our science was a troublemaker, and then we brought him in.
Because I was complaining about the community being really negative. And so Munto told me to stop it. And it was like, fine, I'll complain in your DMs instead.
Fair. And then she was like, all right, I'm sick of this. We're making you a mod because I'd rather have you with me than against it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like in an RPG where you defeat a mini boss and then you recruit them and then they end up becoming on your team. You're like the Vegeta of MFC. Like you were a villain originally, and then you became really pissed. All right, so we're gonna add that to your list of nicknames. MFC Vegeta.
Piccolo instead, but
That's fair. That's fair. Piccolo also was a bad guy, and he was royalty, so I guess that kind of works out. Because he was King Piccolo, and then he joined, and you're kind of the Queen of Cards now. I hear, so it's another royalty thing.
No, I don't know. I think I'm a far way off that.
You'll get there. Give us 6 months. All right, let's see if science.
What a mess. What a mess. I lost complete audio that time. I don't know what happened. Discord just went haywire. That's okay.
All right. So we can hear everybody and we're moving and it's picking up our audio. These are good signs. Let's hope that nothing explodes again. We honestly hands our people and it's your fault.
I'm sorry, everyone. On the back end, though, the recording has been going this whole time. It has been recording your audio and everything you do to me. So we haven't lost it anytime this sounds.
What is the video going to look like when we upload it?
The video is still there. Like it's the video's been running the whole time.
It just wasn't streaming out.
Exactly. Because Discord went haywire.
Gotcha.
So maybe we'll move to YouTube in the future.
Yeah, this is garbage. Oh yeah, no, so Sega's right. You were talking crazy shit about you when you left. So we're gonna find he's because there's always you here. Oh, it's backfired. All right. So Kat, so you joined you joined the mod team. Eventually you went to become an admin, right? Like how was that process?
I feel like it would have been just before I'd been there for 2 years. We needed to have an extra admin, and I'm just like, oh, I basically live here already. So I went to when the webmaster was asking what people thought, and I was like, oh yeah, I mean I basically already do all of that stuff, and
Sure.
and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that kind of happens, right? It's like you're doing the job anyway, and then people are just like, well, why don't we just make you officially this, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like it gave obviously additional back end access and stuff to do community management, database management, stuff like that. But as far as what anyone sees from the front, it's exactly the same.
Gotcha. So how long were you an admin on NFC? You were there for quite a while, right?
Yeah, so all up, I think I would have been mod or admin for, I reckon, 10 years.
Wow.
Until I stepped down.
Okay. And what made you decide to step away?
The kind of the staff team and culture had really shifted away from how I like to deal with people and how I like to work on things as a community. Okay. Obviously, like the database itself has a lot of its own issues. Because like how people like, let's say like when it was built with a very specific use case in mind, and it's been changed and adjusted very much on the fly, and trying to retrofit quite complex IPs like, say, Fate or Sailor Moon, um, even like Dragon Ball. They're obviously like it was very, very hard to have cohesive arguments and come up with an agreed answer on how to approach it, because some people would be very ego driven and like, no, this is the way I want to do it, or they would think more about what logically makes sense to them rather than how a community would understand it. And I'm just like, I don't have the space for this. I already had, I had my child, and I think she would have been not even one when I stepped down. I'm just like,
Okay.
I'm dealing with enough children right now.
Sure.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, no, I get it. You got a real maybe to take care of in real life. You don't need to deal with doing that on the internet in multiple places on top of
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I like it's not a paid thing to be
Sure.
a staff on MFC at all. So it's like, no, thank you.
Well, speaking of unpaid staff positions, how long ago did you like kind of what? Tell us the story of your journey on getting into the Discord interface.
Oh, so mm, there was a post on the Reddit, like asking, like, is there a figure Discord? And like there was, because I was on another one that I was an admin on from before that. But then someone had gone and made a new one, and I was like, oh, I'll join. I like just having more people to talk to.
Sure.
And then, yeah, apparently I kind of just romp a stomp everywhere, and people were like, oh, yeah, you seem to know what you're doing. And that pretty much was it.
Gotcha. So yeah, I guess being a community veteran and already tied into the MFC admin side of things, it was kind of a natural fit that the people running the Discord server at that time were like, "Hey, why don't you join our team?"
Yeah, basically. I pretty much said, like, oh, I can help more from like a logistics and just management-y kind of thing. Not really interested in being like, I am like a staff member here on the Discord. I'm gonna just shit talk. Um, but turns out, yeah, I ended up doing that anyway and kept shit talking anyway.
Fair, fair. So at one point, I know that original our figure collection server started in October of 2017. By the end of 2018, you and the rest of your team had actually left that server to create the one that we're all on right now. Can you tell us a little bit about that whole transition, like why that happened?
Yeah, I mean, the person that asked if there was a server was going to make one, but someone had jumped in and made one before him, then invited him, put him as an admin as well, all of that. And it's like, cool. And there was very much a disconnect of this is a community server versus this is my server, that we couldn't really resolve. Because like the guy that created the server would very much just disappear for a while, jump in, make changes, add or delete emotes and all that sort of thing, and then just disappear again. Or would do like sort of the flyby comments like, oh, we've gone and made this decision as a group. Oh, I wouldn't have done that. And then disappear again. And it's like, well, maybe you should actually be here.
Gotcha. So not a lot of teamwork going on.
No. So we actually asked him to pass over ownership. And he very much was like dug in heels. No, I refuse. So we're just like, okay, we can't actually work together like this. So we made our own server.
Nice.
And yeah, it was very much like as we started it up, it was like, oh, we want to be focusing on this as like, this is a community. This doesn't belong to someone, like one individual or anything like that. We all
Sure.
are working together, which has made it so much easier to deal with because we, don't have any of those kinds of issues of people having too much ego. And I think
I mean,
it's kind of
it works as a team, right? So
yeah.
especially as we continue to grow, like you just can't. No one can solo runs.
Right. And what I was going to ask is, how has it changed since you started it in 2018 to now being 2025?
Oh, I mean, besides it being, it was less than 1,000 users, less than 1,000 members when we moved over, and now we're coming up on what, 8,000?
Yeah, we're 7,700 right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's far less like. It was never particularly cliquey, I would say. Like they would come and go.
Well, you always get that.
Yeah. And like earlier on, it was very much kind of people would be able to create and hold cliques, and it could be a bit overbearing to other people, but I think that's just not possible to do to that degree now. Just because we do actually have a lot of really active people, and it's really nice.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for the kind of history lesson on that one. I know there's a lot of people that don't really know all the degree.
City as well, I think, overall.
We try to prune it when people are just overly negative.
And that's it. And I think that has been something that we have been able to foster as we've grown. Obviously, hiccups, all of that. But yeah, it's like it actually is quite nice like when I have time to like wander in here and sort of just chat. It doesn't feel stressful, which was very much what it was like in other servers, or when it got to MFC. Like on MFC, got to a point that I basically couldn't be a part of the community.
Right.
Because I was just seen as like the big bad because I was an admin. Like three of the problems were my fault.
Like what I am today. I am the evil person of our team. But I'm yelling to take one for the team, right? I'm the yelling mirrors for didn't last one people.
Yeah, basically. We compliment each other well in that regard, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. But a lot of people take things too personally when it comes to like issues that we might have in the community and things like that. When I'm addressing something, and this really is something that everybody should understand, I'm not addressing it to your directly. I'm addressing it in terms of the community as a whole. Which, if you look at it in that context, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone. I actually really like most everyone in the community. It's just a matter of we have rules, and we expect everyone to abide by them because it keeps us from having problems with A, Discord itself, and B, running off on rampages like meeting spam and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned getting in trouble with Discord itself. Like, we actually lost our community server status at one point because someone had posted some content that was against our lineage, or we didn't catch it because we're not here 24/7, and then someone else saw it and reported it to Discord, and we basically got suspended from their community server program for like 30 days, and they had to reapply, or maybe it was 90 days. I think and then when it was done, we had to go up a process again, and it was the whole thing. So, Discord is a lot more strict on stuff than we are. You just try to be in alignment with them because they've seen how easy it is for one person that's just like spiteful of the server or whatever was to go find a reason to report something, and Discord's bots look at it and go, "Yep, no, that's not okay." Boop, boop, punishing them. So
Right.
we try, and it's like the bigger we get, the more susceptible we are to that. So that's why we have to be kind of strict on some things sometimes, and yeah, it just kind of is what it is. But we're kind of off on a tangent here, so let's talk about something fun. You used to have a YouTube channel, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, you see, there's this platform called YouTube, and you can like make videos and you can upload them and all of that, and yeah, sometimes people watch them.
So is that a new platform, or has that been around for a while?
Like it's been around for a while, but like I know that it's not like a lot of people that know about it.
Gotcha.
Oh God, don't say that. Don't say 20 years. Oh God.
Yeah, Ashtorix in the chat says that YouTube is 20 years old this month.
Is it actually 20 years old? Didn't it start in 2007?
Or next month.
2005.
Well,
Crazy.
tell us what kind of content you were making.
Yeah, I mean, I started off doing very like unique, and you definitely wouldn't have expected it. Content on figures.
What
so
kind of
there's a lot
figures did
of
you do content on?
oh well, they were anime figures mainly. Uh, so I did a lot of like unboxings, like reviews. I did some like just like trying to talk about topics and stuff like that as well. Um, I started doing it kind of to try and push myself to be a bit more um like confident in terms of like presenting and talking. And yeah, kind of like was just sort of a hobby sort of thing that I was like, oh, maybe I could turn this into a real thing. And I realized how much I hated having to do all of the recording, all of the editing, and then
The editing. Yeah.
the planning as well. It's just like I can't do this. So I very much like it petered off pretty quickly because yeah, like the way that I worked and the kind of content that I wanted to create and put out, pretty much would I think I worked it out to be like I was spending like an hour per minute
Oh, okay. Wow.
that was that would be uploaded.
So you were going overboard at the edit, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I was like when I was doing reviews and stuff like that, I was very much wanting to focus in on like making sure that the details were being shown and I wasn't just having static images. I'm pretty sure I had uh I think I was recording in 4K so that way I could scale down versus like not have enough detail and all of that.
Sure.
But yeah, like I went and would spend so much time sort of like planning it out and making sure that I had my like sort of like run sheet of how I wanted to record and everything else. And then yeah, it meant that yeah, I was doing way too much in terms of going and cutting and cropping and multiple layers like of audio, and I definitely would not do that now if I was to do it again. But
So just
it
like
was
the
very
time sync.
that's how I wanted to do it.
Yeah. But just kind of the time sync of all the editing kind of made it not so fun for you anymore.
Yeah. But it meant that I ended up like doing some articles, like writing articles on another like hobby website. They got to do some interviews and stuff with people. they're part of the hobby, and traveled a few times to One Fez with that as my justification. So, like,
Okay.
I definitely got something out of it.
Yeah. I imagine you learned a lot on the creative editing and content creation side as well.
Oh, yeah, 100% is, actually what, yeah, kind of got me in the door in terms of my job that I'm doing now.
Nice. So you mentioned that you went to One Fest a couple times. Tell us about those. Like, what was your first One Fest like? I know a lot of us have seen it from a distance, but never gotten a chance to experience it.
Yeah. So I think the first time I went was 2017. I've always gone in winter because I can't even fathom the idea of being in Makuhari Messe um, with that kind of heat. Um, it was such an interesting process because it's very different to now, because you get the tickets digitally, but back then you had to go and buy a it was just effectively like a booklet of ads, for everyone that was attending, and
Okay.
it was, I would say probably about an inch thick.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
It was a hefty boy, but you had
Dang.
to buy that, and that was your ticket.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, so doing that the first time was really confusing. Um,
Did you go by
and
yourself, or did you have anybody else with you?
yeah, I
More
went with
experienced, or
yeah, I went with a few people the first time. And I absolutely went and delegated work to them and like, you need to take photos of everything. Like, you
nice.
see, this is content. Um, but yeah, like everyone that had gone before that would be like, oh, you can't see everything at once. Like, it's impossible. And I was like, surely you just plan it out. You can't. Just it is not possible to see everything. If you want to see the garage kits, you need to be prepared to not be seeing a whole bunch of figures from manufacturers and stuff like that, because heaps of them would have like lines that would go for 15-20 minutes each, or the native booth would have at one point a 2-hour long line.
Oh wow. Oh wow. On the garage kit side, like I've always heard that you kind of really have to prioritize, right? Whereas you're like, I am going to wait in line for this one because it's my most important. And these other four that I want, I'm almost certainly not going to have a chance to get because I'm going to be in line for this. They're going to be gone by the time I'm done.
Exactly. It was
Uh, s-
very much that.
what was the first, like, did you get anything on your first trip where you're like, I really want this garage kit. I got it. Did you try to get one, a good one? Like, how was your review on back from the first one?
I wasn't planning on getting a garage kit on my first time because I wasn't into getting kits and painting anything like that. I'd known Munto for years before that, and she had been trying to convince me to give it a go for all of that time. Um, but I was like, "Oh, no, I wouldn't be able to commit to it. I wouldn't be able to do it well enough." But I ended up buying one on impulse, that was, Alice from Odinsphere.
Okay.
So kind of like an Alice in Wonderland sort of really basic sort of theme thing. I'm just like, this is small. It was only a couple of inches tall. Was I think 21 pieces in total. I'm like, I could do this. And it was, I think, 5,000 yen. I was like, oh, this is affordable. It, if I completely stuff it up, I'm not going to be too upset. Um, and yeah, that was it pretty much. I didn't get anything else because all of like the Good Smile exclusives and stuff like that were well and truly gone by then.
Right.
Um, yeah, it was just like most of like my goal that time was really, yeah, taking photos and doing videos.
You were there for the content more than shopping.
Yeah, exactly that. Whereas, yeah, like, the next years were very much more towards being interested in the kits
Yeah, you
than
were there as a fan in future years instead of a
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Yeah, exactly, and, like,
Okay.
I'd realized sort of, like, I'd experienced what the difference is of seeing, like, the figures in person after lining up and stuff like that versus just seeing the photos as they're uploaded online. It's like, I've now had that experience, I don't need to keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get to see these production samples in person instead of just living vicariously through other people's pictures. I imagine that's a
Yeah.
different experience.
But yeah, but at the same like, after doing that, I'm just like, "Oh, I now can see what that difference is and, like, what it looks like and what it feels like to actually be able to see them. I don't need to do that with everything. I might if there was one that I was super excited about, I would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I go and see that one at some point," but it wasn't my focus, whereas, yeah, the first time was like, "Oh, I need to make sure I line up for seeing all of the altar stuff or all of the quiz Q or all of that," and it's just like, how they had them set up back then, you would pretty much be lining up each time to see each prototype.
Gotcha. So you really had to
Yeah.
pick and choose.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, I was more interested in the future in seeing the kits and stuff like that because this is stuff that, like, individuals and fans are making and selling.
Sure.
Um,
And that really is the unique side of One Fest is the kits. It's like you're all the prototype stuff for the production models. You're gonna see plenty of pictures of those, but some of those kids, like there maybe only be 10 or 20 at that booth total. And if you don't get one, like pictures may not even show up on this outside of, the artist being like, hey, here's what I'm bringing to One Fest. I got a dozen of these. Good luck.
yeah, or they won't even do that. Like, there's one kit that I got that there are no photos of it, or there might be now, I don't know.
Sure.
But at least for, like, a couple of years later, um, it, like, didn't have an entry on my figure collection. I had no idea if, there were any photos online or anything like that. Um, and because like, I didn't go in knowing that it was there. I just happened to see it
Yeah.
and really liked it. So I've got it. But yeah, just like, I don't even know how many copies that he had or just any of those sorts of details. I'm like, I should probably think about painting it, but that requires time.
Sure. So how many One Fests have you been to total?
I have been to 3 all up. I went 2017, 18, and 19.
Nice. And then the pandemic happened and everything got ruined.
Yeah, I would have gone in 2020, but then I was on the opposite side of the world,
What were you doing on the other side of the world?
meeting you.
What?
Yeah, I had to make the decision whether I made an America trip for a friend's birthday, um, and, like, road trip and all of that, or I go to One Fez.
Gotcha. To be fair, you didn't come here to see me. You came here to see Munto, and I just happened to be on the way out. Yeah. Look, we're friends. I get it, but I understand where I rank, and I'm not on Munto level. I'm okay with that. I get it.
I don't think anybody ever be on one level. One level.
Right. Like trying to compete with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but you're a good cook, I'll give you that.
I'll take it. Did you, so what all you came and you hung out with Munto for a while and then you just kind of road tripped across the rest of the US and then ended up down here in Texas before flying back? Or did you do anything fun along the way?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. So, yeah, I flew in, um, and jumped across to Maryland and was there for, I think, a week, and then went back to the opposite coast, go back to LA, and then me and my friends ended up road tripping from LA all the way across through Arizona, New Mexico, and then through and up Texas, and then flying out of Dallas. Yeah.
Nice. That was cool getting to meet you and the rest of your party. We Marcy came down as well. That was fun. I don't know. I'm sure some of you have seen the picture. We had a cookie cake made with the Australian flag on it, and it said "Welcome, ambassadors." And when Kat and her party showed up at my house, we had it out on the table, and we had the Australia national anthem playing, and we were saluting. We're trying to do our best to welcome our international guests. It was a good welcome. What else? You've had a heck of a fascinating journey through this hobby. At what point you started your own business, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I think I did that in late 2019 was like when I properly like made it into a business, because like obviously I'd done like my own contracting and consulting and stuff before, but actually making a product and selling it and all of that, going in, making enamel pins and other various bits of merchandise.
Okay.
And I dabbled in the idea of making and releasing figurines as well, because like why wouldn't I go and combine my hobby with my business, because then I could claim all of the hobby stuff as business expenses, because
that's just smart. That's just smart.
Didn't you have a prototype of your mascot character made?
Yes, I did end up getting prototype made, and I've got that living in my bedroom on my bookshelf. So that's very much like a one of one original, all of that. I was really happy with it. Just the issue is the fact that kind of economy of scale, it's just not affordable,
Right.
to produce and really be able to make my money back. Because obviously if I'm going in trying to make a product to release and sell, I want to be able to make a profit on it. That's right. This was not possible.
Sure. But did the pins and stuff you were making, did those do decently well for you before the kind of world economy got all weird with COVID?
Well, I mean, the world economy went weird, like, I think maybe 3 months after I'd, like, decided I was gonna do it.
Right.
But, I mean, by the time that I needed to step away, just because I didn't have, like, mental capacity or the energy to be able to do it, like, I was able to kinda just step away from it and not have any debts or anything like that to worry about, so I was able to just sort of be like, "Okay, I'm done." So it did well enough, at least I could have kept going if I had the energy.
Sure. And honestly, that was a terrible time to try to get a business going. It's like you get it rolling and then boom, everything changed. So the fact that you were able to basically be a startup business right when everything changed, like, and you didn't lose your ass on it, or were able to come out without a ton of debt and craziness. That's a win, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
And that's
the amount of like
kind of
established, the amount of like established businesses that we all know that closed during that time, you know, and they just they lost everything. So, it's a glass half full way of looking at it. I definitely think that it worked out about as good as it could have, all things considered.
Yeah, basically. 'Cause when I went and started it, obviously went and did a business plan, had like my strategy, all of those like fancy bits ready, 'cause like, well, I'm in Australia. Majority of what would be my potential market is in the US or across
Right.
Europe. Um, and pretty much, yeah, went and set that all up like that to balance out like the costs of shipping. And then I was also like, oh, I'll go and do like local conventions and stuff like that as well. And then everything, yeah, shut down. Couldn't ship things out for months. Um, there were so many different like facets where I'm like, oh, this completely makes my business plan fall like apart entirely. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was able to kind of shift and flex it at least enough to keep my head above water. Um,
That's awesome.
and yeah, it was a really good like learning experience as well to use very traditional business corporate speak. Um, but I had a lot of fun.
Sure. So, I mean, you've kind of dipped your toes into basically kind of every facet around this hobby. Like you've done the business side, you've done the content creation side, you've done the design side, you've done the community management side. Um, what are you up to now?
Cards.
Cards.
So yeah, I work at a business that is all about trading cards, sport cards, lots of cardboard.
Sweet. What sort of cards? These like sports cards or like Magic, Pokemon one?
Yeah, I mean for no, Peter, not greeting cards. No. Um,
So if we need like a birthday card, you're the one for us here.
so yeah, like my work is primarily focused on sports cards, mainly because most of the other guys are there from like being into sports and sports cards themselves.
Okay.
Um, whereas I very much was coming in from a place of I'm into playing card games or yeah, like Kira has said, making a card game since that's the thing that I did with a friend.
Okay.
Um, but there's yeah, a bit of a balance in there that like I try to help give the different idea into the market because the sports card collectors are such a different breed to the people that collect like TCG, so like Pokemon, like um Magic cards, Dragon Ball, all of those sorts of things. Like there's completely different like mindsets,
Okay.
and they also have very different budgets because some sports cards go for like s- stupid money.
Yeah, because like in some of those packs, there's like one of ones and stuff like that that I imagine have crazy value to them.
Yeah, like you can end up with dual patch, dual autos. Um, then of course it's impacted by um, if it's a player that's done really well or if something's happened to them. Um, just there are so many of those different facets where it's like, oh, that like one card that we have is worth 30 grand.
Wow.
But I know that there's been ones that are even higher, even lower. Like, it's just it's so wild.
Pit
Most of the sport cards, basketball, without a doubt.
Yeah, so I'd say that just wants to know kind of what the most popular sports are. You saying basketball is the top one?
No, like no contest.
Really? And is that like either national? Because I know you guys work. You're not just Australia focused on the sports card side. You actually kind of were worldwide, right?
Yeah, so yeah, we've got the physical store, but we've got the online business as well. But yeah, it's like at least for the kind of people that come to us, it's basketball, 100%, no contest at all. Um, it's just it's wild. Um, like we have a bunch of like baseball product. Like we have NFL. We do have like a bunch of F1. Like my boss is really into F1, which means that we get a lot of the F1 product. But it's just like when people are coming and looking for like even wrestling actually. There were there was a con a couple of weeks back that I was working at that was like I think I would have had a few people come be like, "Oh, have you got any like WWE here?" Like, "Oh no, like we've only got like what's online or at the store at the moment. We didn't actually bring a lot of the WWE stuff because we're like, oh, it's probably not going to be many people looking for it."
Sure. That kind of surprised you, the demand that you saw there?
Yeah. And yeah, like most of the product is obviously focused on like American sports. So it's really hard to know just how into things people are. Whereas, yeah, like we know that people know that we do a lot of basketball and we have a lot of basketball product. Um, so that's sort of like I guess like our bread and butter sort of thing.
Okay. So do you focus more on the like local retail side, or are you doing a lot of the online stuff, or a bit of both?
So I guess as a like overall business, it's very much that like the online stuff is where we get most of our business.
Sure.
The retail store's only been open for what month is it now? It'll be I think a year in September.
Okay.
Um, so they like people are still kind of learning that we actually have a physical store now. But yeah, it's they very much just trying to balance the two, and grow them simultaneously. Though a lot of my focus these days, which hilariously is very much different from where it was at a month ago when we talked last.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more heavily focused on our like technology side of things and like our like apps and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because yeah, like we well, like my boss is the guy that created 130 Point, which is basically a data aggregator for being able to check the value and recent sales of just items in like it's possible to use just for items in general, but he built it with cards in mind.
When you say check like sales, like what is that tied into?
Yeah, so like checking eBay sales, Fanatics Collect, Golden Auctions.
Oh wow. So it pulls it from quite a few big sources.
Yeah. So at the moment it's I want to say we've got 8 marketplaces integrated in at the moment, and we've got more that we're gonna be adding over the next few months.
So that's
Like TCG
that
players that we
130
want.
points pretty legit then.
Oh, yeah. Um, it it's kind of hilarious to me because he very much just built it because he's like, "Oh, I wanna learn some web development." And it ended up being a really effective product for doing, like, card and sale comparisons to be able to check out what the value is and stuff like that, especially because most, um, other, like, businesses will do, like, TCG. So there's a lot that are really
Yeah.
like, I mean, TCG Player, like, they have, like, a great system for managing, checking values of, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, Magic, all of that. But it doesn't really work if you want to check the value for cards that have been graded,
Right.
and, like, sales and things like that. It's really hard to actually see what the value is on a lot of those sorts of places.
And I don't think TCG Player shows value outside of their bubble, which, I mean, they have a ton of sellers and stuff in there, but I don't think it's pulling like eBay data, heritage auctions, and stuff like that, like your the 130 point.
Yeah, they don't integrate it with charting or any of those other ones either.
No, no, they don't. But yeah, and that was kind of it. So it's like the fact that he kind of built this thing because it's what he needed. And turns out a lot of people liked it. So he's ended up being able to build out a pretty self-sustaining business around that. And yeah, we're able to actually start planning out how we can kind of grow that business and grow all of that stuff, actually be able to manage people's card collections and stuff using our service, and then be able to check the value of cards sort of on the fly. So be able to, like, say you add a card that you have and you can just go check that item and it'll have a chart saying what the like value history is, like in terms of increases and drops, and like how many sales there have been in the last like 90 days. All of that sort of thing.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where all of my attention is now. Since we're at the pointy end of actually trying to release it,
Nice.
like the update of it, because the actual like 130 point as an app itself exists, but it doesn't have a lot of those extra features in there that we've been working at. Yes, science like that.
That is very cool. Well, I'll make sure that we get links in the video description for the 130 point and the hobby.com.au to kind of give shout outs to both the projects you kind of have your figures in right now. Outside of that, does anyone in the chat have any questions for Kat about anything she's talked about or anything else?
I wanted to know grading cards and which companies you prefer.
PSA, PSA, PSA.
Why PSA?
They're easy.
Yeah, but PSA a lot of times is it's really dependent on who you get and right? It's their mood of the day in terms of what you're going to give for a grade.
Exactly.
And it does happen more often than not.
A lot of like people have a lot of opinions on what they do and don't do. Like because like obviously I've been learning a lot about it from the side of being with an authorized dealer. And it's like, oh yeah, people love going and talking about Beckett and how great they are because they go and give all of the extra detail on the car, like on the slab, to be like, oh, this is all of the different things. It's like you actually can get that data from PSA as well. It just costs extra.
Gotcha. And will they put that on the card itself, or is it just like, here's the grader's notes and you got to pay for that?
Basically the grader's notes.
Okay. So it works like kind of CGC does for comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Effectively. Because like from seeing how it all kind of works as far as people going and wanting to submit stuff to Beckett versus wanting to submit stuff to PSA. Like it's really like personal preference, especially if you don't have to kind of like worry about the process of like PSA is just stupid simple.
Sure.
And also like PSA actually work out their systems in terms of like how to deal with international submitters and dealing with the tariffs and stuff like that. Whereas Beckett are just like, ugh.
Is the PSA more expensive than Beckett? Or are they similar price wise?
Let me have a quick look.
And it may be different for you as a business and authorized, business to submit stuff to them for grading versus what me as a random fan would have.
Yeah. And also like the pricing that I have like access to, like with us being a dealer versus
I wouldn't have that price. Yeah.
home. Exactly. And that's entirely because of the scale at which we are able to submit.
Of course.
Uh,
But isn't PSA, doesn't PSA do like pricing based on rarity as well?
so it's not just on rarity, it's on the card value. And the thing is like upfront, if you're submitting something knowing that you're going to get a 10 and that a PSA 10 sells for over $2,000 and you go and submit at the like, C200 bracket, they will upcharge you.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha. So that sounds like CGC for comics as well. Like if you're submitting like old stuff that's really valuable, it has a higher rate on it.
Exactly. And it's like, I can understand why it sounds scummy, but that's kind of the reality of like, if you're wanting to get something that has a grade that is graded by the reason why it has that value is because you've graded through that business, then it absolutely makes sense that they are going and pricing it based on that.
It's a value multiplier to that item. So I get why it's like, if getting it graded at a really high grade is going to triple the value of whatever it is, card, comic book, whatever, tripling the value of $100 book versus a $10,000 book, it's a significant difference. So I don't like it as a consumer, but I
Oh,
get it
100%.
as a business.
Yeah, 100%. Like as like an individual, like that's part of my whole reasoning for like whether I would actually bother going and grading or not. Like it's like what I'm asking them to provide me a service.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, sure. The service that I want is to have a grade to say the condition of what my item is, but that's not the service that they're offering. That just happens to be a part of the service.
Sure.
And like, yeah, I don't get to decide that I'm not going to pay for the part of the service that actually means that getting a PSA 10 means that my item is worth $10,000. Like if I wanted to just do a condition report sort of thing, there are other services that I could be using.
Sure. Yeah, I guess it's there's a lot of complicated facets to it, and it's like I imagine it's difficult you having to judge it from a business perspective versus for like an individual collector. It's you look at it different ways because you're getting something different out of it. So I could see why some people would find that frustrating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I'm not going and saying that like what people want is wrong. Like absolutely. If that's what you want out of it, it's like, well, that's just part of your business, like your decision-making process.
Yeah.
It's like if what you're after is XYZ, you don't go to business A. You go to business B. It means that potentially that saying selling a Beckett 10 is actually not going to give you as much value as getting a PSA 10 and selling that. Like the value is impacted.
Yep.
But if you're not looking at selling, then who cares?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do the comic side of that, and it's exactly the same way. It's like you got CGC, and then you got, oh God, I'm drawing a blank of the other one because I don't like them. I don't think the labels look as good, but the value is definitely different based on, a 9.8 in either one company and a 9.8 on another is not a one-to-one value. So I totally get it.
Yes.
Speaking of value, what in your collection figure-wise, kind of rolling back to what we're talking about, what is you think the most valuable figure in your collection as far as like normal type of release figures, not something that's like a one-to-one custom. I know you have a beautiful garage kit painted by Munto, and that's priceless. As far as like things that just us regular collectors could purchase, what would be your most valuable, like actual money wise? And then what about like sentimental value wise, other than like a garage kit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, like, your sentimental wise, like, there's no contest. I would say that just if we're talking just pure value, I have a few different, resin statues from First 4 from their earlier Dark Souls releases.
Okay.
Um, and so, like, there's Artorias, Sif, Ornstein, Solaire, and Mimic that I've got, and I don't know what they actually go for now, but they generally tend to hold value or go up. And then along with having the exclusives of, and I have the number 14 on all of them.
Oh wow! So you have a matching numbered set across the series?
Yeah, for the ones that I've got there, they're all the same.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because the way that they kind of did it was what was it? Like, they kinda did wrestling belt sort of deal. Like, if you kept by each subsequent one, you would maintain your number.
Okay.
But if you skipped one, then you would, lose kind of like your rights to that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just, like, doing, like, the mental pass to think of what would be high value. I reckon that's probably those. I've got the one I think it's a 1/6. I think it's a 1/6 scale, of the DeLorean from
Oh, cool.
Hot Toys. Because I got, like, the first release of that from the first movie. Um, what that goes for, I have no idea.
Liz wants to know about PVC. So if you're just on the PVC side of the anime statues, what's kind of a special one that you got?
Yeah, like, value-wise, I have no idea because what I paid what some of these things go for now, like, I bought them on release, and
Sure.
it's been, what, 12 years? I have no idea what they go for. But, like, I've got the Max Factory, Bell Dandy, and Holy Bell, which they did, like, a numbered release of.
Oh, okay.
So, um, I have a pretty low number of her as well, which it was random, what number you got. And I have a few other PVCs that are like that, where it's like, yeah, I probably would have paid less than $100, but I know that there have been points in time where some of them would be going for 5, 6.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I'm just like, yeah, I could sell it, but it's pretty and it's mine.
Sure. Fair. You're not in it for the investment. You're in it for the toy. That's I'm all about that as well. Um, if the chat doesn't have any good questions, I have some incredibly boring ones. Like, what is your favorite anime character?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Like, in the past, I would have very quickly said, like, Shih Tzu from Code Geass. Um, I mean, very much like a very well-loved one. Um, there's a whole bunch of, like, magical girl characters I could say, because like, I've got, um, like, a half sleeve tattoo of different anime-themed memorabilias.
Okay.
So, obviously, like, yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura, all of those sorts of things, like, but I don't know if I could say if I had, like, a individual favorite.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite series?
Uh, Code Geass is very much that.
Okay.
Definitely answer that one.
And then what about on the video game side? Is there a particular video game series or video game character that has always kind of resonated with you?
Mm. In the past, I would have gone and said Danganronpa right away without skipping a beat. Oh, like really enjoyed Hades and just like the lore and all of that around there.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to think like the overall that has stuck with me all the time, like all of the years, probably would be Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Okay.
Um,
What house do you lean?
take a guess.
Toreador?
Too easy.
Am I right?
Yup.
Ah, that was a shot in the dark. I don't think we have ever had this conversation before.
Never.
That is
Never.
that's
The
cr-
first time I played Bruja.
okay.
And I've also played like Markavian. I refuse to play Ventru out of just moral
Yeah,
resistance.
fair. I should just end the show now. My Toreador guess was right. I'm gonna go take a victory lap at a cul-de-sac. Like I just, that's amazing. What about you, Science? You got any questions? I feel like I've been hogging up all the cat's time.
Oh no, you're perfectly fine. You're going. I'm doing background stuff as I normally do.
Background stuff.
Canton's asking cake or pie. I want to say pie.
What kind of pie?
I have a very soft spot for pumpkin pie.
Is that because you don't get that in Australia?
Yeah, that and key lime. It's really hard to get like a good pie.
Gotcha. What about cheesecake? What are your thoughts on cheesecake?
No,
I enjoy a good.
I didn't ask you, Science.
absolutely not. Just like mayonnaise.
I asked our guest.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I enjoy a good cheesecake. Like San Sebastian cheesecakes.
Nice.
Are really good. And
I will make a cheesecake if you ever come back.
heck yeah.
Pitt is saying she knows where to get good pies, so you have to go visit her now too.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not.
You got to go to NYC for a convention to.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
I couldn't get them to let me go.
Did you tell them that you know where to get good pie in New York? If they let you go, you could take them there.
Right? I should have said that.
Next time. There's going to be more card shows in New York, so we gotta build up a list.
Evie.
What's your favorite evolution? If you got to pick one. Yes, put you on the spot with some of these tough questions.
Yeah, see, like I like Evie because of the potential.
Sure. Rocco likes Umbreon. Liz likes Leafeon. What about the rest of the chat? What is your favorite evolutions? While Kat thinks of hers.
I would probably end up saying Sylveon.
Deer likes Umbreon. Science likes Crumpleon.
I would probably either say Sylveon or Flareon.
Nice. You're all wrong, but because Glaceon is obviously the correct answer, but it's nice that you have opinions, I guess.
Oh yeah, like I'm making this selection. I'm making a selection because like my actual answer is that I wouldn't pick any of them because I would be like absolutely having like executive dysfunction and decision paralysis. Like, no, I can't pick.
You just take an Eevee, you throw it in a bag, and you pour all the different elemental stones in there and just shake it up. And whichever one comes out, that's the right one.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's Munto. You know her.
Oh, wow. Buddy, seeing you here.
It's nice of her to show up right when we're about to wrap up the show.
Oh, are we wrapping up? I didn't realize that.
I mean, you got anything else to talk about? This floor's open.
Oh, I mean, I thought we were going to ask Kat what her plans are in the future, future plans to interact with the community going forward, et cetera, all the changes that are ongoing in the back end, stuff like that. Oh, I just asked.
Tag it in.
Questions.
It was most.
All at once. Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm just like I just heard like various question marks.
Yeah, so, like you've been off doing your thing for a while, and we all appreciate and respect that, but you've done a lot on the back end side of things too that a lot of people don't know about. So what are your plans in terms of like being part of the community and stuff like that going forward, especially with what you're doing now in terms of your career?
What, like actually like showing up and talking to people?
Well, I mean, are you going to try to integrate things? Are you going to try to promote certain things, etc.? You know what I mean? Like,
Like, at least like as far as sort of like cross promoting like my work stuff like in here, like not overly. Like I bring it up when it's relevant and I'm kind of happy with it staying at that level because obviously like in the end I am in a position where I can at everyone, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah, it's very much sort of like if I'm going to share stuff, it would be no different to if someone else was talking about like grading cards and someone else worked at a card store and be like, oh yeah, my work does this. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'd be sort of integrating anything in further than that.
well, that's fair.
But I mean, it's helped. Yeah,
The
me a lot with. No, go.
No, go continue. I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, like yeah, like it. Um, the fact that like my work has actually made it easier for me to come around and chat here more than I have been. Um, Essentially because it's
Like we all appreciate
relevant too. Yeah. Plus, yeah, like I get to share Pokemon cards that I go and buy on impulse.
Yeah, I heard about that. This is a little impulse shopping spree there, huh?
Little, like that's certainly not the qualifier that I would use. But it's done. It's happened. Work got my money. It's fine.
Well, that's good. As long as it's fine, that's all that matters. Um, but like I said, we are looking to the future and how we can expand for the community. So about some things that are going on in the back end. Do you plan on being more involved with that going forward, or do you just plan on continuing to do your thing, just out of curiosity?
But your personal curiosity is definitely no. There'd be no benefit to you in knowing this information. I definitely want to be more involved.
Well, good. Happy to hear that.
Are you trying to recruit her as a admin for another project?
I am not recruiting anybody right now for anything. I'll say that.
So now it sounds like to me.
I don't know. You're part of this too, Chris, whether you like it or not.
Whoa. I'm going to mute myself again. I don't want to be. Don't pull me into this.
Yes, the Skynet bot will rule with an iron fist. No, there was some earlier.
Yeah, I'd say for English or Japanese is very much English. I definitely prefer the English cards.
Really? For the Pokemon? Okay. I heard that and I don't know if this is true anymore, or if it was ever true, but at one point I saw people saying that the holofoil stuff was different on the Japanese cards versus the US.
Oh, it is?
Release. Is that true? Is that still the case?
Yeah.
Yes and yes.
Yeah, and even like if you look at like the Chinese sets and stuff as well. Some of the Chinese sets, they'll do the Horizons releases, which each pack is all hollows or foil.
Okay.
And I've seen that like after that, it actually ends up being within like the Japanese release that they've got the same set of like different foils. So it was like that was something I had no idea about and didn't know was a thing. But yeah, it's very much dependent on like where the cards are being manufactured, it seems.
As a collector, I feel like that probably just complicates things even more.
Oh yeah. It's bizarre and complicated, and that's why I was just like, yeah, I'll stick with English.
What was your favorite card from the stuff you just bought recently?
Mm.
I'm not gonna make you pick your favorite card of all time. What excited you a lot? Stuff you just pulled.
Hmm. I mean, there was one card that I pulled that had, I think, I'm pretty sure a PSA 10 would sell for over 200 US. And that was a Charizard. And then there were a few like special illustration rares and stuff that I opened up. I opened up a whole bunch of 151, which was how they got me because it was nostalgia.
Some nostalgia. Yep.
Yep. So it was very much just, yeah, I kept opening because it was pretty. Yeah, I also opened like 4 boxes of Paldean.
Wow. Yeah, that's what they did to me with the new like this year. They've had two. I guess last year and this year they've had two Yu-Gi-Oh sets that are like the quarter century celebration. It's like here's cool new rarity versions of all the cards that you liked when you were playing, Chris. Like, oh well, I guess I'll buy these even though I'm not playing or collect. I'll buy some boxes. And nostalgia's a hell of a job.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bubble Mew. Fun story. Recently, like a few months back, there were like a series of robberies in card stores.
Oh wow.
One like one of the thefts actually ended up being a card that we bought not knowing.
Oh.
So like we bought it from someone. It's like, oh well, we can't do anything with this. We have to sit with it in the safe until the police work out what they're doing. So that was fun. Um, but yeah, like that was how I ended up being very familiar with the Bubble Mew.
Wow, okay. That's crazy. You bought a hot goods stolen card.
Yeah.
Now you're going to jail.
But yeah, like you're talking about the quarter century stuff. Like I don't know if it was last month or the month before. Um, yeah, I opened up. I'm pretty sure it was the quarter century bonanza.
Yeah.
Opened up a whole heap of boxes of that, and yeah, like my nostalgia was being hit hard.
Yeah, I bet. All right, Science, what else you got? We got a whole list of questions that you tacked.
I told you to remember at this point because you guys went off on a tangent.
What? We never do that.
Oh, it's fine though. We did have some other stuff to talk about, boys.
Oh.
Remember? Well, I mean, don't forget about the leaving contest.
I didn't. I have that. I have the brackets ready for it. I've been so busy with work. I haven't had the chance to get those posted for voting. But that will be coming soon. I'm actually off of work next week, so I'm gonna take some time and get that rolling. Yeah, finally getting some time away. So
we're gonna have another naming card after that one's complete. Maybe for that character in the background there on Slurring. Sweet. She's enjoying her beach life right now. For summertime.
I hope her website comes out at some point.
Well, that's what I was saying. Just sharing little bits and pieces in chat. Pieces and been talking. guys haven't been paying attention now. But
Who said you little teasers?
oh, so you
Just don't like being teased.
I know it's more work than you would ever imagine.
That
Oh, you have
fear. Are you excited for that? So what's the official release date for the launch?
I have on the website currently the 15th.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. It's had a lot of dates on it. All of them.
No, it's actually it's always been late, whatever. Check back in Friday. Now it's the 15th. So that's how close we are. That's how close we are. So we'll see how that goes for this week. This 15th.
Yeah, 15th is what?
It's 15th of June.
Of 2020.
That is how close. Is how close.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So if all goes as planned, and after the stream is done, I will be doing a lot of data importing. But
I think it's all already exciting.
I think a lot of people will actually really enjoy it. So they really, it's more of a social than anything else. So you get all the your benefits of having tracking of your collections and so forth, but you also can do things like you would do on like Twitter or something like that, and have conversations half independent of an individual item, which really, I think, really, in terms of keeping a lot of the crop out of it.
The cruft.
Well, because, it's on other websites, seems to be very toxic email places. Right?
I don't think I'm familiar with cruft.
You don't know what cruft is?
That's a new word for work.
Really? Must be a East Coast thing.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure it's actually a like technology, like programming thing.
Is it?
I know what cruft is.
Okay.
Gotcha. I have people that do that kind of stuff, so I don't know it.
Well, either way, it's all the garbage that you don't want to see.
Ah. Well, I'm excited to see what it looks like. We haven't gotten our
I know.
chance to take a peek at it yet, but I'm excited.
I know. I'm at the point where I need to do a data import to see what's left on my checklist. Because without it, I'm just going to keep going in circles. So
Right.
that's where we're at. We're getting there. Right. I know, Dad, you and I have been talking about some little pieces that will need to be done. So hopefully we can work that out as well. I'm not expecting within 3 days, but in 3 days.
I made you those icons. Those should help, right?
Yeah, those icons. I'll actually use them for the interim.
Don't. Those are no hardest things.
And Pitta, don't bother. Don't give me that ugh.
Mwahaha.
Post that in the chat for y'all to see. Science was like, I need some icons made. I was like, I got you, fam. And that's what I did. It's probably not. They're not great. They're all right.
Yeah. So fundamentally, the whole website is very different than what other websites are, which I think will be great overall. May work, it may not, but it works. I'm shooting my shot here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, definitely will gladly help with getting them icons done. If I have the time over the next few days, maybe it will be ready in the next 3 days. We'll see. Well, I make zero promises.
Yeah, I don't expect you to make any promises, but
I am holding both of you to that hard deadline of 3 days.
Looking back on this project that I started in late 2021, it's taken a long time to get to where it is today.
It has.
But on the back end side of things, there's so many little pieces that nobody ever thinks about. You have to look at content moderation. You have to look at user management. You have to look at all sorts of different to tie it all together. And
The fact that you have something that you're pretty confident you'll be able to release
yeah,
is more than the. I want to say I've heard of maybe. I reckon probably 10 people, like 10 different
Yeah.
like ideas of it. Being like, oh yeah, I'll be able to do it. It'll be easy, and then it'll be like, oh well, hi, I have resources and knowledge and experience from working on MFC. Why don't you ask me questions? And then I give them one complicating factor and they just kind of fall to pieces.
right.
Or they just ghost me entirely.
Absolutely. You weren't even confident that I would pull it off at one point.
No. Hey, I'm absolutely willing to admit that. I was absolutely cynical.
Oh, 100%. I don't blame you.
But yeah, I mean, you kept pushing it, so I'm good on you. It's better than a lot of other people. Where it's like, yeah, I'd be like, well, here are all of your ideas. I think that it's not going to work until you figure all of these other things out. And yeah, usually people get super defensive about that, and like, you can take the information and knowledge that I have or not. I don't care.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I've been dropping teasers in all sorts of different places, so people are hungry for it.
Oh, have you?
'Cause, like I do a lot of the Western collecting as well. Like half of my collection is like Japanese imports, the other half is like U.S. domestics. I collect a lot of toys and action figures on top of the statues and stuff I collect. And there's definitely a demand for a place that for it's like, God, I would like to track my Hasbro Spider-Man and my Figma Spider-Man and my Figure Art Spider-Man. And there's no site that just do that. MFC is only the one side, and there's no like action figure or toy database on the other side of things. And yeah, like Kira said, Western collecting and tracking is just really difficult because there's not a spot for it. And when you do find like a good database or information, it is one thing. What is just G.I. Joe? It's just Transformers. It's just Masters of the Universe and so forth. So I've been dropping hints like, hey, there may be something coming that will allow you to add those things, with the restriction being as long as it's licensed, it's fair game. And I know quite a few people who are like, please tell me whether this thing is very real. And I can't give too much information because, I don't want to let them drop teasers for months now. So I think there's going to be some demand there. That's not the priority. And that's not the focus, but you are giving us a platform for that you can.
Yeah, the focus is to make it a platform for the hobby as a whole. Right? It's not just one specific portion of the hobby. It's the hobby as a whole. Whether that be your figures, your action figures, your ice figures, your plushies, your tapestries, your merch, the hell you want to collect, how you want to do all. If it's related in some way, collecting hobby in kind of the characters, it's fair game, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
And I do find a lot of irony in the fact that, yeah, like you've been working on this for a while, and the work that I'm doing right now very much complements that.
It's true. You're just going to be mad when I tell you that trading cards are included.
Oh, I know they are.
Okay. Not to the way you're doing it, but just in general. It's part of a collection.
That's it. Like,
Right.
Direct competition is what I'm hearing.
oh, that's it. It's like, it is like thinking entirely from a business perspective. Like, it is absolutely direct competition. But at the same time, it's like,
But it's not.
that's fine.
Because I'm not going for the route of sales or pricing and things like that. You know what I mean? I'm going for the route of people want to discuss it and have a conversation around it and say, hey,
Yeah, like yours is more of a focusing on the social side of things. But yeah,
exactly.
yeah, and that's it, and that's fine. It's like, yeah, you've come in from the figure space and not like knowing what MSC does and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's very much coming in for a different direction, even if ultimately a lot of the same data will exist. It doesn't need to be competition. It can be complementary.
That's the point. And the lovely part about it is, for businesses and things out there, eventually there will be nice API integrations for all of it. So
I just want to put my toys on a website. They're leaving me behind.
I mean, you want to have those mid-'80s. What was it? What was the Kenner brand? Was that the brand?
Yeah. Kenner was around in the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
Yep. What was the other one? LJN.
Yeah, LJN. They did wonderful toys, awful video games.
Right.
But yeah, LJN did all the old wrestling action figures back in the day.
Yep. But yeah, all those things, I hope you don't have a place for them now, or will in the future. But you will in the future.
We don't have a place for them now, so that's why people are excited.
That's awesome.
Well, that's all right. Yeah. Anybody else have anything they want to chat about before we wrap up? Anything else you want to promote or say, Kat?
Well, I mean, if anyone in New York wants to attend a card convention, there's Fanatics Fest next week. My work will be one of the many, many businesses that are there, and it looks like it'll be a pretty fun event.
Nice. Well, there you go. Go visit the people that didn't allow Kat to come to New York.
Yeah, it's just everyone turn up and be like, "Oh, why isn't Kat here? Why isn't Kat here?"
I was told Kat would be here, and just have a bunch of money, like you're ready to spend it, and be like, "Oh yeah, I was gonna do some deals with Kat on cards." And they're like, "Oh, she's not here." Like, oh, okay. Sorry, I guess this goes back in my pocket. I'll see you. And if you moonwalk away, it really, really adds an extra action mark on that.
Just lock.
Yeah, like hard. Hold on. Like, oh yeah, no. Should have brought your marketing partner to me.
Shit.
Tell you, if they were attending Collecticon in Dallas this weekend, I would absolutely go and give them grief for not sending you. But they went to New York next week, like a bunch of cowards, because they knew I would go after them. I'm like, she's been here before. She knows. And then, nothing.
Yes. So when you all go to that convention, make sure you bring this with you. It'll definitely help.
Huh. Look at that. Is that cat is a sit port?
It looks like a mix of everything.
Yes,
A raven, a smaller raven.
yeah, the social media like content person jumped on the trend when who was it? My brain is just stuck on Kobe. Like a basketballer got a doll made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kobe Bryant. Yep.
Yeah, it was Kobe.
Got it.
Cool.
I don't think
That-
he does. He's been dead for a while.
Yeah. But obviously because that happened, it meant that pretty much all the sports cards stores and stuff were like, "Oh, GPT, make me stuff." So
Kobe Bryant died like 5 years ago. Is this?
yeah,
Is that right? Is that
now?
okay? I'm so behind on trends.
But they were just like, "Oh, if you had a figure made, what accessories would you have?" And that was what we ended up with.
A purse, 2 birds, and a lightsaber. 2 purses, 2 birds, and a lightsaber, and coffee. Are you a big coffee drinker?
I mean, I'm a small person, but yes, I drink a lot of coffee.
Okay. What is this?
Oh, you saw that.
Jump was sharp.
Saw that.
Oh yeah. Some meat and a little grill.
Chris with an action figured himself to grill some meat. It's great. It's great.
And then tongs that look suspiciously not tongs.
They're definitely tongs though. But there's all other salad tongs. You could use those for meat. Oh, it's true. Well, I like mine. Or I'm just like miserable the entire time.
It is accurate.
That is so accurate.
Courtney's ass.
Yep.
Yours has a band hammer, an old laptop, couple science beakers. That's pretty good. Awesome. Well, unless anyone has anything else to add, I think we can probably wrap it up here.
Yeah, I mean,
Take
I'm
this
just
up.
I'm just here to answer things and talk about stuff. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being our guest again, and basically going through your hobby journey with us 2 separate times because we didn't capture your audio last time. It was really awesome having you join us, and I hope you were able to do so again in the future. Maybe not even as a guest, but just as a bonus co-host when we talk about garage kits or One Fest or just anything that one of many topics that you have experience and knowledge about just because you've been in this hobby for so long.
yeah, and I have lots of opinions.
Fair. Awesome. Well, thank you so much to Kat for joining us. I'm Chris, he is Science, and we are going to say goodbye there. Thank you for watching, and we'll throw this up on YouTube too for you guys to watch the recording probably either tonight or tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see you here in a month. Your second Thursday of every month, I believe.
Second Thursday. That's correct. See you next time, everyone.
Bye, guys.